In the age of the internet, media is almost impossible to lose, especially licensed titles that have been given blockbuster movies. And for the longest time, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, met that fate, being delisted in 2014 due to licensing issues. For 7 years, the Scott Pilgrim game lay dormant, never to be seen or heard from again. That is until September of 2020, when it was revealed that the Scott Pilgrim game would return in all of its pixelated glory. Now that the game has been revived, what's next for the Scott Pilgrim IP? Though a sequel to the game is unnecessary, there are many different forms of media the Scott Pilgrim comics could be faithfully adapted to. One is said to be in the works via an animated TV show, but another idea cropped into my head while playing one of the best JRPGs ever, Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI, also known as Final Fantasy III from its initial North American release, is a 1994 role-playing video game developed and published by Square for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It is the sixth main entry in the Final Fantasy series. What makes this game a landmark title is its fascinating character-centric storytelling and beautiful pixel art. So, how can these two titles be merged? What about this concept would work? Welcome to the first episode of CrossMedia, the show where I take one form of media and mash it up with another. In episode 1, we're going to combine the Scott Pilgrim comics with Final Fantasy VI.
Hey, check it out, I learned the baseline from Final Fantasy II.
Scott, you are the salt of the earth.
Oh, thanks.
I meant scum of the earth.
Thanks.
Scott Pilgrim is known for its pop culture callbacks akin to the likes of Mario, Zelda, Street Fighter, and Sonic, so it only makes sense that the first game developed would be a side-scrolling beat-em-up like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage. However, upon playing the Scott Pilgrim game, I found myself disappointed with the lack of story. Though I recognize that it's a beat-em-up, it's not very story-centric in the first place, but there is room to improve there. Just think, the entirety of the Scott Pilgrim comics all recreated faithfully within a traditional JRPG-like story, traversing the pixelated snowy streets of Toronto, doing side quests and preparing for the next evil X to face. A turn-based party system taken directly from the classic Final Fantasy series, with the original Anamanaguchi soundtrack behind it all. Why I'm taking Final Fantasy VI as direct inspiration is because of its character focus. This leaves room for tons of side stories for characters that casual fans of the series probably don't know that much about. Different characters could have different jobs. For example, Sills could be somewhat of a bard, using his instruments against the enemy. Scott could be a fighter, using his various wristbands to inflict damage to his foes. And Ramona could be a battle mage, influencing the battlefield with her manipulation of subspace and her gigantic hammer, of course. The limit break feature could also be brought in from Final Fantasy VII, giving these iconic characters special moves to reign over the enemy. These characters are built for a game like this, and the plot of the series fits so well within the confines of a JRPG, I'm surprised the concept hasn't been brought into question before. So, how likely is this reality? Will we ever see a Scott Pilgrim game again? As a fan of the series, I would like to remain hopeful that there's more in store for Scott Pilgrim than meets the eye. The series has amassed popularity these past few years as being an underappreciated gem that deserved more initially. Both Edgar Wright and Brian Lee O'Malley have expressed interest in revisiting the material. There are talks of a new anime coming to Netflix, but everything on the game side is quiet. Hopefully Ubisoft can recognize the potential within the IP and do it justice. But with the ever-increasing focus on live service Ubisoft seems to have, I wouldn't get my hopes up. All we can do is hope and appreciate the series as a whole, and hey, who knows what the future might have in store for us. As a fan base, we were able to recover the original Scott Pilgrim game, so anything is possible at this point.